Arise, Limbusers. Whenever I'm playing Withering Waves or Arknights, there's always this one game that keeps popping up. Whether it's in the recommendations, community discussion, or just people glazing the hell out of it. Only to not finish it. And honestly, it's getting hard to ignore. Because everybody keeps calling it one of, if not the best gacha game out there. For having an incredible story, rich world building, and believe it or not, a very generous gacha system. That game is none other than Limbus Company.
Limbus Company.
It's Limbus Company.
Limbus Company.
Limbus Company!
Shut up, Don.
Maribara.
The story begins in a dark forest as you are engraving something. But you are not alone. You are being pursued by 3 unwanted guests. You dare interrupt me as I was engraving the... You must be out of your mind. Lion speaks up, saying that what they are doing does not technically violate any of the city's taboos, only that no one is brave enough to consider attempting to do so. Panther, on the other hand, is surprised that you are able to get a new head so quickly. Just wait until the likes of you will be no match for. With your new head, you are unable to utter a single word, and the only thing that Lion, Wolf, and Panther can hear is the ticking of your head. But that doesn't stop Wolf from torturing you. Even with your head being replaced with a timepiece, you're still able to feel pain. Damn it! Why am I being attacked? Not good. Memory decay. Already? Was done too quick. Wolf's patience has all but dried up and wants to finish what they were doing as quickly as possible. But Lion is not done toying with you and wants to have more fun. After all, no one is watching, so what's the hurry? As they are arguing, Panther chimes in, scolding Lion on her childish behaviors and reminding her not to mix business with pleasure, then turning to you to lament on you not being able to tell them where the star is. Like hell I am! I'm taking location to the grave with me! Damn it! Where was supposed to be again? My memories are fading too quickly. With no mouth, Panther is disappointed that you won't be able to tell them the location of what they're looking for. Wolf then suggests disposing of you and moving on, which he agrees with. Lion all of a sudden hears a noise coming from the dark forest, asking Panther if he was tailed or not. Panther denies it, of course, and says he can't think of anyone being able to track him down. So he chalks it up to just being a wild animal. But the noise does not sound like that of an animal, but of a bus. And all of them are wondering how it got here. Lion steps up to confront the bus, only for her to get ragdolled as she gets hit. Without steps.
If my eyes are still right, then you will not fail to reach the port of glory.
Who are you? That nameplate says Faust.
You've lost your way in a dark forest.
What?
Yet, you were not overcome with fear. Why was that?
That's because I could simply lift my head to find a star.
That's right. Now, keep revisiting that image and let your heart speak these words aloud. Follow your star.
Follow your star. At that moment, I felt a sudden thump in my head, followed by the sensation of multiple chains penetrating me.
With this, the pact is sealed. Dante, from this day forth, we are bound to your time.
What do you...
The beating of our hearts now depends on where your hand falls. I hope you'll make a fine leader.
Our? After the pact was sealed, Ishmael approaches complaining about Yi Sang's poetic self not making a lick of sense. While Roja is just happy to finally get some action after the long wait. Gregor reciprocates by saying it wouldn't hurt to get a warm-up in, only for Otis to berate you on the sorry state you're in. Then you finally ask, "Who are you people?" Faust speaks up, saying they are heralds of justice who have come to your aid. That only confuses you more.
A few moments later.
So, let me get this right. As long as I do what you say, these complete strangers, I've never met before, will fight in my stead?
Correct. So long as you give them the right orders.
Right. Then let's slaughter these shitheads and I could go back to where I was. To where I was and... Hey, Editor Hollow here. It turns out the wiki and the game dialogue sometimes does not line up with each other. So if there's a break in dialogue or tone, that is why. In the future, I will make a mental note of that so it doesn't happen again. But with that, back to the video. What was I doing? Where am I even supposed to go back to? I was right on the crest of an extremely important moment. Something I was never supposed to forget.
Calm down. It's only natural that the new head would have adverse effects on your memories. Focus on the struggle at hand, Dante.
Otis, finally realizing her mistake, reconciles by addressing you as Commander and awaiting your orders. Gregor disagrees, saying the only way to go about this is to fight one-on-one. Heathcliff, being the brute he is, doesn't care about all that and says, "Oi mate, all we gotta do is crush them all." Man, that was probably the worst British accent ever.
Please, do your best, Dante.
I guess I don't have any other choice. And with that plea, you and the 12 sinners get into a clash with Lion, Wolf, and Panther. Finally, we get into the gameplay of Limbus Company, where we learn about how skills and clashing works. And for some reason, the gameplay reminds me of Darkest Dungeon, and a little bit of Candy Crush. But with the basics down, the game decides to hand us full reign of the sinners, and it went as well as I imagined it. We proceed to beat the shit. Nah, we got cooked. Yeah, we did not stand a chance on this one. You stand there as one by one the sinners are killed off, starting with Gregor, who proceeds to get the biggest backshot of his life. Yi Sang laments on his situation. Ishmael agrees by saying that it was a dumb idea to pick a fight against them, before getting cut down themselves. Roja gets smashed like a pancake. What the hell? You said you'll fight in my stead!
We never promised to win said fights.
What?
And it seems I'm the only survivor.
Okay, so you meant for this to happen. You've got an ace up your sleeves, haven't you?
Not necessarily a trump, no. Rather, It's about following the star.
And with these words, Faust gets pierced in the heart. What am I supposed to do? Arriving with all that fanfare, only to die like flies? I can't remember a single thing about the past since I repeated what she said. Is this how I die?
Deliver this message to the serpent, false lion. This is a flow that cannot be stopped.
A mysterious man then emerges from the shadows, quickly and effortlessly taking care of our enemies.
Do you know why I only had those two dismembered? Because one of you needs to be intact to carry the rest and scram out of here. And you're the only one left to offer any help, unless you want to meet your end here.
Who are you? Are you one of them? You're too late. They're already...
I'm not late for anything, Dante. We only need a little time to rewind.
Huh? I'm suddenly overwhelmed by an excruciating stab of pain in my chest, as though my heart was being torn asunder, followed by flashes in the rib, intestines, stomach, and lungs. I couldn't even tell where the pain was coming from anymore. I let out a cry of pure agony as I felt my body twisting and breaking open. Before your consciousness faded, you see the sinners unknowingly regenerate, as if they weren't corpses just a minute ago.
You're in for one hell of a painful ride from here on out, Dante.
And with that, you fall unconscious. You wake up aboard Mephistopheles and meet an unfamiliar child named Chiron, along with Virgilius, who was the one who just saved you not too long ago. Here, you are properly introduced to the 12 sinners, starting with the chill unk, Gregor.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
The sassy gambler, Roja.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it. Oh, yeah!
The timid twink, Sinclair. The poetic Isang.
早上好，中国！现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋，但是速度与激情就比冰淇淋。
Best girl Ishmael. Best boy Heathcliff.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, man.
Fixture extraordinaire Don Quixote. The happy-go-lucky Hung Lu.
Please, me, I need this. My mom is kind of homeless.
Ryoshu, the artist. Meursault. Or is it Meursault? I don't know. I'm not French. Professional glazer Otis. And finally, the know-it-all Faust. And with that, introductions are over. You chat for a little longer before Virgilius-sama sends you off to go fight some bandits. In this battle, we learn about how sanity works and how it can affect our sinners' likelihood of hitting heads or tails. In short, higher sanity means more heads, lower sanity means more tails. We are also introduced to the stagger mechanic. If you or an enemy reaches a stagger threshold, they become staggered, losing their turn and making them more vulnerable to all damage types. Unless you're a certain variety who can't get staggered. What they don't tell you is how Clash Power, Coin Power, and Final Power works. Not to mention the 7 archetypes you literally build your team upon. That being Charge, Poise, Burn, Sinking, Tremor, Bleed, and Rupture. Heck, they don't even tell you about negative or unbreakable points. nor do they tell you about how sin affinities can cause you to deal or receive double or half damage, or even how egos can change your sin affinities to give you an edge in battle. This is only the tip of the iceberg, by the way. There's a million more things I can say about it, but I won't bore you with it. You guys probably heard this a million times anyway. Let's be honest, most of you guys are Project Moon Sleeper agents. I get it. It's the tutorials. It's only meant to show you the basics to get you on your feet. But surely that won't come back to bite me in the butt, will it?
직원 중 하나가 큰 피해를 그러나 아시다시피 돌이킬 수 없어진 것은 눈길을 주지 않아도 된답니다.
What the hell?
쓸모없는 존재야.
I'll just let Esco handle this. Anyway, if I were to give you a tip, learn how to read. We get back onto Mephistopheles, and here Virgilius tells you your role in all this.
As a manager, your job is to manage your staff. And I am the guide. I decide the where and the how of our journey. Am I understood? Don't argue with me.
How am I not supposed to question a stranger who can't even hear me? And with a little bit more bickering, we ask the final question. So, where are we going?
Virgilius, they'd like to know the destination.
What did I just tell you, Dante?
But just where are we going? With his sigh, the bus shuddered and started to rumble forward. And with those final words, cue the intro.
Destination Inferno.
Okay, that's enough of Millie. I don't want to get copyrighted. And that, fellas, is how I fell in love with Limbus Company. There's a lot of good things to say about it. For example, the story is phenomenal. I like how it leans more into the dark and gloomy sceneries. Unfortunately, the story does not pick up until chapter 3 and beyond, but that's just a curse of all gacha games. Another good thing to say about Limbus is the battle pass. The amount of value you get from this one pass alone is unreal. So unreal that I've made it a habit to buy it every single season, no matter what. Even if I'm broke, I would still have the pass somehow. In fact, I have enough boxes to last me a lifetime, or to never roll again. Or until Walpurgis comes strolling along, that is. But even then, that's still not a big issue, with how much lunacy they give out through the mirror dungeon every week, or even through your inbox because of a little bug. Not you, Gregor. You can literally hoard tens of thousands of lunacy before cashing out. At the end of the day, Limbus is still a gacha game, so it still heavily depends on how lucky you get while pulling. We all know the feeling of not getting a character we wanted for months and having to wait even longer for them to come back into rotation. If they ever do come back, that is. And now for the cons of Limbus. Look, I know you guys hate hearing this, but it has to be said. One cannot change without acknowledging the issue. Let's start off with XP tickets. You can never have too many of these. For those of you who don't know, you can either choose to enter the dungeon or choose to skip it entirely. But for some reason, Pimu thought it was a good idea to only give you 3/4 of the resources for skipping it, even though it costs double the energy. That literally makes no sense. With hundreds of IDs in the game, and many more coming, it would make more sense to give you all of the resources. And now for the biggest offender of them all, little to no endgame, or not enough content in general. Once you finish the main story and the intervalos, the only endgame waiting for you is the railway and the mirror dungeons. But let's be honest, it's really just mirror dungeons, mirror dungeons, mirror dungeons. Don't get me wrong, railways are fun to play, but once you've completed it and claimed all the rewards, there really is no reason to go back to it. Not to mention, you can't even access the previous railways for some reason. I don't even know why they can't just cycle it out every week or so and have the rewards be XP tickets for clearing it. It doesn't even have to be lunacy. Some of my units are starving out here. Look, I just want more of the game I enjoy so much. And I know most of you feel the same way. Another issue of the game is not having any English voice acting. And I know having English VAs doesn't make or break a game, but it sure can help with the growth of one. Let's look at Withering Waves for example. The voice acting here is outstanding, with different accents for different regions, just like Reverse 1999. Of course, that goes in tandem with the fast-paced gameplay of Withering Waves, But hopefully you see my point. Having voice acting enhances the enjoyability of the game overall, plus some better reading. Besides from the few nitpicks, Limbus is phenomenal. The amount of glazing this game gets is warranted. But I can also see how the gameplay, lack of voice acting, and an endgame can be a turnoff for some people. But for me, I've always favored the story of a game above all else. It also helps to have a company like P-Moon or Hypergriff behind it. You know, the ones who won't run your pockets every time a new character comes out. So, for that, I'm in. And with that, the video comes to an end. Like and subscribe for more content like this. Oh, and how can I forget? I sentence all of you to 10 more limbillion years in the mirror dungeons. Anyway, au revoir, mon ami.